Greetings, pubescents. How's it going? It's been a while since I've been back here, and today, just got through reading this amazing work of Plato, Crito, which basically tackles the thesis originated by Socrates. Ought a man to do what he admits to be right, or ought he to betray that right? So right now, if I thought that marijuana was, right or morally obligatory, if I was told by the law, which in some states that's the case, not to do so, ought you disobey the law or pursue what you construe to be correct, and to have your own means of justice construed in a different sense than the law does, thereby justifying your acting against the law? Okay, so I'm going to read Crito, which is actually relatively short. It's a couple of pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, and some discussion questions. Oh my. Okay, so, try to make this brief, and to leave more time for the discussion, of course. From Crito, Plato. This is a dialogue between Socrates and his fellow Athenian, Crito, which during this period, Socrates was sentenced to death, drinking the poison, due to the fact that he was charged on different accounts, one of which was impiety, I think, and disrupting the minds of the youth, and another charge. 3 charges, I believe. Anyhow, so he's waiting right now in the cellar where they're keeping him, and he has the opportunity to escape. And Crito is the one that's trying to convince Socrates to leave with him. However, Socrates is giving up, well, he's going to argue, as we're going to read, why he feels that the state is correct, well, not correct, but why he feels that he shouldn't escape, why he shouldn't wrong the laws as is of the state. Okay, so, Socrates. Ought a man to do what he admits to be right, or ought he to betray the right? Crito. He ought to do what he thinks is right. Socrates. But if this is true, what is the application? In leaving the prison against the will of the Athenians, do I wrong any? Or rather, do I not wrong those whom I ought least to wrong? Do I not desert the principles which are acknowledged by us to be just? What do you say? Crito. I cannot tell, Socrates, for I do not know. Socrates. Then consider the matter in this way. Imagine that I am about to play tonot, and you may call this proceeding by any name which you like. And the laws of the government come and interrogate me. Tell us, Socrates, they say, what are you about? Are you not going by an act of yours to overturn us, the laws and the whole state, as far as in you lies? Do you imagine that a state can subsist and not be overthrown, in which the decisions of law have no power, but are set aside and trampled upon by individuals? What will be our answer, Crito, to these and the like words? Anyone, and especially a rhetorician, will have a good deal to say on behalf of the law which requires a sentence to be carried out. He will argue that this law should not be set aside. And shall we reply, yes, but the state has injured us and given us an unjust sentence. Suppose I say that. Socrates is saying, suppose I say that. Crito, very good, Socrates. He likes where he's going with that. Socrates, and was that our agreement with you? The law would answer. Or were you to abide by this sentence of the state? And if I were to express my astonishment at their words, the law would probably add, answer, Socrates. Instead of opening your eyes, you are in the habit of asking and answering questions. So tell us, what complaint have you to make against us which justifies you in attempting to destroy us and the state? In the first place, did we not bring you into existence? Your father married your mother, and it was done by our aid, and begat you. Say whether you have any objection to urge against those of us who regulate marriage. None, I should reply. says Socrates. And again, the state. Or against those of us who after birth regulate and nurture the education of children, in which you also were trained. Were not the laws which have the charge of education right in commanding your father to train you in music and gymnastics? Right, I should reply. Well then, since you were brought into the world and nurtured and educated by us, can you deny in the first place that you are our children and slaves, as your fathers were before you? And if this is true, you are not on equal terms with us. Nor can you think that you have the right to do to us what we are doing to you. Would you have any right to strike or revile, or do any other evil to your father or your master if you had one, because you have been struck or reviled by him, or received some other evil at his hands? Would you not say this? And because we think right to destroy you, do you think that you have any right to destroy us in return, and your country as far as in you lies? Will you, O professor of true virtue, pretend that you are justified in this? Has a philosopher like you failed to discover that our country is more to be valued and higher and holier far than mother or father or any ancestor, and more to be regarded in the eyes of the gods of the men of understanding? Also to be soothed, and gently and reverently entreated when angry, even more than a father, and either to be persuaded, or if not persuaded, to be obeyed? And when we are punished by her, that is the state they're referring to, when we are punished by the state, whether with imprisonment or stripes, the punishment is to be endured in silence. And if she leads us to wounds or death in battle, thither we follow as is right. Neither may any one yield or retreat to leave his rank, but whether in battle or in court of law, or in any other place, he must do what the city and his country order him, or he must change their view of what is just. And if he may do no violence to his father or mother, much less he do any violence to his country. What answer shall we make of this, Crito? Do the laws speak truly, or do they not? And then Crito says, I think they do. Socrates then replies, then the laws will say, consider, Socrates, if we are speaking truly, that you, in present attempt, you are going to do us injury. For having brought you into the world, and nurtured and educated you, and given you and every other citizen a share of every good which we have to give, we further proclaim to you any Athenian, by the liberty which we allow him, that if he does not like us when he has become of age, and has seen the ways of the city, and made our acquaintance, he may go where he pleases, and take his goods with him. None of us laws will forbid him to, or interfere with him. Anyone who does not like us and the city, and who wants to emigrate to a colony, or to any other city, may go where he likes, retaining his property. But he who has experience of the manner in which we order justice and administer the state, and still remains, has entered into an implied contract that he will do as we command him. And he who disobeys us is, as we maintain, thrice wrong. First, because in disobeying us, he is disobeying his parents. Second, because we are the authors of his education. And thirdly, because he has made an agreement with us that he will duly obey our commands. Okay, this is the most important distinction, I think, in this writing of Crito. And he neither obeys them nor convinces us that our commands are unjust. And we do not rudely impose them, but give him the alternative of obeying or convincing us. That is what we offer, and he does neither.